Hello dear LELB visitors, my dear friends. In this session I'm going to teach you one unit of a course book based on advanced reading. So this course book that is for and against, whose image you can see here. This is a great course book in order to practice and learn some vocabulary and also some great ideas. And it is a very thin or short book, just including 30 pages, 30 units. So we have covered 19 units, including this one, and there are just 11 let's say other units that I'm going to complete in order to give you a full package. Before starting, let me see if there are some. Yes, there are. A century, as usual. You know that on my website there are over 600 flashcards created by me. This is century, a period of time equaling 100 years. Again, century. Whenever that word is repeated, you can see the, let's say, flashcard responding to that. So this is typical. Let me see. Yeah, typical means characteristic or usual. As I have just chosen this photo because it is typical to have eggs in your breakfast, for breakfast, as I have just provided you with the caption, and that's it. And you can see the other units of this course book for and against. Okay. Let me see. All right. Unit 19. The only way to travel is on foot. It means to be a pedestrian. The past ages of man have all been carefully labeled by anthropologists. Anthropologists are some scientists, social scientists in the field of, let's say, studying humans and their behaviors in different tribes. This is anthropology. Descriptions like Palaeolithic Man belonging to prehistoric ages in the Stone Age, or Neolithic. This is the last periods or let's say eras of the Stone Age, Man, etc. neatly sum up or conclude or summarize whole periods. When the time comes for anthropologists to turn their attention to the 20th century, focusing on the present moment, current moment, they will surely choose the label Legless Man. Why? Because we humans at this in this era, that is 20th, it's not 20th, we are already in the 21st century. This book is rather old. Okay, so this era has been labeled legless. That is, men are legless because they do not use their legs anymore, or they don't use it, according to the author, they don't use it very much. Okay, histories of the time will go something like this. In the 20th century, people forgot how to use their legs. It is rather ironic or sarcastic. It's not that bitter, but I believe that people have led a sedentary lifestyle. Let me write it down. A sedentary lifestyle. It means that people do not have enough physical activities or exercises. That's why they tend to be couch potatoes. It means that they just sit in front of the telly, watch some TV programs, satellite programs, and even actually internet programs, and they don't do physical exercises adequately. sedentary lifestyle. Remember? Okay. Men and women moved about in cars. They used car whenever actually they just want to go even for buying from the supermarket nearby. Buses and trains from a very early age. That is, they learn this or practice this habit. There were lifts and this escalator. Lift is the British form of elevator, and escalator, they are different. A lift or elevator is a cabin or a small room that just goes up and down and carries people. But escalator is a set of let's say stairs. Okay. In all large buildings to prevent people from walking. That's why generally children tend to become obese. We have a very chronicle case of childhood obesity. This situation was forced upon earth dwellers of that time because of their extraordinary way of life. Okay. This was encouraged or pushed or forced upon earth dwellers, those who dwell. Dwell means reside. Dwell means reside, inhabit, or live. Those who live in the earth, on the earth, that time it belongs to some years ago because of their extraordinary way of life. For way of life, also you can say walk of life. It is common. Walk of life. The way you live. In those days, people thought nothing of traveling hundreds of miles each day. Yeah, as people these days do, because for example, there is a business trip to a place, let's say thousands of miles away, and you cannot just go there on foot. But the surprising thing is that they didn't use their legs even when they went on holidays. Suppose that people nowadays, they want to go on a trip and for example have some fun or recreational activities. Even at that time they do not use their bodies or legs. They just, for example, go to a hotel and take a shower and go to the sauna, and they don't have enough physical exercises. According to the author, to some extent I agree with. They built cable railways, so like a telecabin or a kind of cabin, or let's say a transport system forced or pulled by a cable, or a ski lift. Ski lift actually is a lift that elevator that just elevates or moves up and down skiers, and roads to the top of every huge mountain. As a matter of fact, they are not called mountaineers because they don't conquer the mountain. Let me write it down. Conquer the mount, or mount as a verb, the mountain. They don't just go to the summit or peak of the mountain by themselves. They are just taken to that summit by some electronic vehicles. This is not a big or very, let's say, big job or task to be proud of. Okay, all the beauty spots. Beauty spot is a natural beauty, a landscape, for example, that you enjoy being or seeing. There on earth were marred or ruined or spoiled by the presence of large car parks. Yeah, for example, you want to just have a tranquil moment in peace, let's say at the seashore or beach, but you see a lot of, let's say, queues or lines of cars being parked there. This is not something that you expected to see. Okay. The future history books might also record that we were deprived of the use of our eyes. In future, actually, some history books about the present moment will record that we did not use our eyes because we are all in a rush and we do not get the chance to see what is happening around us. In our hurry or haste to get from one place to another, we failed to see anything on the way. For example, if you're on the plane, how can you expect to see and enjoy the way or the road? Or it's impossible. Air travel gives you a bird's eye view. It means not a very accurate or detailed view of the world, or even less if the wing of the aircraft happens to get in your way. For example, you are on a plane and you want to see through the window and enjoy the, for example, scenery, but you see that, okay, the wing has blocked the view. When you travel by car or train, a blurred image of the countryside constantly smears the windows. Okay, even if you are on a train or in a car, there is just a blurred image. It means not clear, opaque. The opposite of transparent. And remember, the noun form of opaque is opacity, which is so common on Photoshop and some visual editing programs. Okay. You cannot see clear images because you don't soldier. You know, when you soldier, it means you intentionally try to decide to stay in one place and enjoy it. For example, by the waterfall, you enjoy it and you decide, okay, let's have a short stay or sojourn here and enjoy the nature, and then we will continue our journey. It rarely happens these days. Smears the window. Smear means to be in touch with something. It means touch or barely touch here. Car drivers in particular are forever obsessed with the urge to go on and on. They just want to continue, never stop for a moment. To be obsessed with, to be preoccupied with. Okay? They never want to stop. Is it the lure of the great motorways? Is it their attraction or beauty of great highways, or what? Or what else could it be? And as for sea travel, it hardly deserves mention. So it is self-explanatory or evident. It is perfectly summed up or summarized in the words of the old song that reads, I joined the Navy to see the world. And what did I see? I saw the sea. So this is an irony of situation. Irony of situation, it is something that is beyond your expectation. You expected something, but your expectations did not come true. This is called in literature irony of situation. It is ironic, unexpected. The typical or usual 20th century traveler is the man who always says, I've been there, in quotation marks, or in British English, I think inverted commas. It is called inverted commas. You mentioned the remotest or far or farthest, most evocative place. Evocative means something that makes you remember something. It reminds you of something. Place names in the world like El Dorado, Kabul, Irkutsk, I don't know how to pronounce this, and someone is bound to say, I've been there. But for example, they say these days, I've been there, but in fact they have never stayed there. They have just passed through those places, meaning I drove through it at, yeah, I'm sorry, somebody was screaming, at 100 miles an hour on the way to somewhere else. So, sorry for the interruption. I was just taken by surprise. Something unexpected happened. Anyway, so they have just actually passed through those places. Okay. When you travel at high speeds, the present means nothing. You live mainly in the future because you spend most of your time looking forward to arriving at some other place. So, okay, when you travel at high speeds, the present means nothing. So it means that actually you cannot enjoy the present. You are just oriented toward the future. You live mainly in the future because you spend most of your time looking forward to. Pay attention to this structure. Look forward to means to actually wait for something enthusiastically, eagerly. And remember, after this too is different from the two that you say, I want to, for example, see you. This too, after that you need to use a gerund, not a verb, not an infinitive, bare infinitive. So you just look forward to arriving at some other place, but actual arrival, when it is achieved, is meaningless. It means that you cannot actually enjoy even your let's say destiny. When you reach for the destiny or destination, actually you don't enjoy it because you did not just work hard for that. You want to move on again. You want to continue. By traveling like this, you suspend all experience. The present ceases to be a reality. So if you travel like this at a very high speed, you suspend all experience. You cannot experience anything because you are passive. The present ceases or stops. The present moment stops to be a reality. There is an idea or belief that is called Carpe Diem, and Carpe Diem in Latin means seize the moment. Let me write it down. Carpe Diem in Latin means seize the day or seize the moment. It means that live in the present time. This does not exist here. You might just as well be dead. The traveler on foot, or you can say pedestrian. On the other hand, lives constantly in the present, always, invariably on the present. For him, traveling and arriving are one and the same thing, because actually they are not just obsessed with the product, they are obsessed with the process, that is the way, the journey. He arrives somewhere with every step he makes. So even the journey is enjoyable, not just the destination. He experiences the present moment with his eyes. He's active, not passive. His ears and the whole of his body. So his perception of the atmosphere is really strong. At the end of his journey or trip, he feels a delicious physical weariness. Because actually he has been active during the whole way, he gets tired. Weariness. British pronunciation weariness, American pronunciation weariness, or somehow exhaustion. Or tiredness, fatigue. Fatigue is the negative. He knows that sound, satisfying sleep, will be his, will belong to him, and that sleep will be really sweet. The just reward of all true travelers. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted, and for a moment actually I lost my mind because there was a terrible, somebody was screaming. Anyway, I have recently added some let me see, new posts on Instagram. This is blend, expensive, device, 2 negotiations, and bow. Let me see if minimum, annual, yearly, and some others. Thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you soon with a new lesson. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do it, because there are certainly other new English lessons for you. Just hit the subscription button and you will enjoy just receiving the further English lessons. Thank you and take care.